And here we have an ancient well for water. Carina, vediamo se posso vedere se è aperta. Ah. È aperta! Ma di chi è? There are spaces which people use as storage rooms or not well defined spaces.
Con il calore un po' di pesce si perdeva e la mia sartoria qua è del 1967.
1967!
12 settembre, mi ricordo pure...
È un'istituzione la storia.
Infatti!
La signorina, mi ricordo pure la data, il 12 settembre del 67.
Sempre qui?
Sì. Io di questa via conosco via e merito.
Building houses or buildings in general, and then we leave them halfway. I've just realized one of my dreams. Oh my god, it's too cute, this car. Bye! Buongiorno famiglia, today me and my dad are guiding you through our little village in a normal morning. We will see many beautiful things and eat a lot, so come with us.
Soriano is a little town in Calabria, in Italy, of 2,775 inhabitants in the province of Vibo Valentia. It's the largest town in the Valle del Mesima, and from up here you can see why families have lived and worked this land for centuries. Olive trees, vineyards, and small terraces tell stories of generations who built their lives from the soil.
Here before the earthquake there were houses and people were living here. It was not just a religious place, it was a very important little town as well for that time.
But life in Soriano has not been without tragedy. The earthquake of 759 destroyed the convent, which was then rebuilt.
And this that you see here is real marble, and it's very rough at the touch, and you can see it's quite strong. And here we have an ancient well for water. It's not working now, it's just for decoration.
Old church.
Fico d'India. I love these fruits. They are so tasty, and from them we make gelato, we make granita, and we also eat them naturally. There are many mountains in Calabria and hills, so as you can see, we try to build little towns everywhere.
Si difendevano dall'invasione dei turchi.
It was also used as a defense structure.
E poi in collina l'aria era più salubre.
And it was healthier to live on a hill, so maybe that's why we live longer.
Ma ti devo dire delle cose?
No, normale.
Questo è il Tempio di San Domenico.
Later, the devastating 1783 earthquake, measured as the 11th degree on the Mercalli scale, leveled the convent again, along with much of the village. The convent would be rebuilt modestly in the early 19th century, but today its ruins, alongside the Church of San Domenico, stand as a powerful reminder of that terrible disaster.
L'ho fatta pure Gianna.
Di chi è? Sì, di chi è? Chi è?
Sta passeggiando nei ruderi.
Guarda che carina, vediamo se posso vedere se è aperta. È aperta! Ma di chi è? I've just realized one of my dreams. Oh my god, it's too cute, this car. Bye! E come si esce? Sai che non so uscire. Che carina!
Famiglia, if you are liking this video, remember to like and subscribe to the channel.
Oggi ci prendiamo per papà. Non gioca mio padre.
No, volevo io come difficile.
So now we're going to buy cururicchie, which are one of my favorite things in the world. It's like potato dough but fried, and it's typical from here, and they don't make them always. So this morning is a special morning because it's Easter. So hopefully we will find them. Buongiorno. Buongiorno. Le comprate?
Vuoi mangiare subito?
Sì.
Le mangio.
This is a cururicchia. So as you can see, it's quite big and filling, and we can eat them like this, or with cheese, or prosciutto, salame, and it's super fried and crispy and beautiful, and I love this. I'm so happy. So I'm finishing it, and I shouldn't because today the lunch will be quite heavy. It's pasta al nero di seppia, but look, famiglia, I just cannot resist. Now we're going to the bar for a coffee. I still did not drink coffee this morning, that's why you will see I'm a bit sleepy, but I already have something to eat, so maybe I will grab just a quick coffee and a small pastry.
E ci prendiamo
Il
pure
bignè.
il cannolo là.
As if what we just had wasn't enough, now we are having a small pastry, bignè. So it's filled in with cream and a cherry on top.
Crema pasticcera e panna.
Crema pasticcera and fresh cream and a caffè macchiato to wake up.
But why do people leave a place like this?
Services here, unfortunately, are not very developed. For example, this is the post office, and it's very challenging to actually get something done in there because the queue is always very long, and sometimes the system doesn't work, or like you just cannot get to do what you have to do somehow, because we are in southern Italy. So this is something that young people, of course, don't like about living here. And to withdraw money, we don't actually have a bank. We used to have, but now we lost too much population, so they removed the bank from here, and we have just a cash withdrawal machine, which is part of the post office. But if you don't have a card linked to the post office, it doesn't work, or the fees are too high, and sometimes it just finishes the cash and you cannot withdraw more. So you can understand that if you are an older person or you don't drive, you don't have a car, it's quite challenging even if to withdraw cash. And here we just pay by cash. So not to have cash literally means that you cannot pay because cards are not accepted everywhere.
There are also structural challenges. Fewer services, less investment, and slower economic development in rural areas.
Here we are entering the old historical part of Soriano, and so we see more like older houses, and the cars cannot come in here, so that's why maybe it's also less developed.
Over time, this creates a cycle. Younger generations leave in search of opportunity, while the population that remains grows older.
Here there are spaces which people use as storage rooms or not well-defined spaces. We need to be careful because here everything is so old, and so it might fall or it might break. Something that is really a shame, not just in this little town, but all over Southern Europe, is that we start building houses or buildings in general, and then we leave them halfway. Maybe because we don't have funds, maybe because the money finished, or because maybe the person who was building it is moving abroad. But then the structure remains like this, like a ghost, half-done structure, which, according to me, ruins the beauty of the little town. Ah, ristrutturazione? Buongiorno. Che bello.
Come si chiamava un muratore là? Io non
E che nome è Mastro
E
Grundo?
tanto dopo che mi arrivava in America, è che la stavo crollando. Si stava giusto, dai.
Ah, ma questa è messa bene.
Stiamo risettorando tutto.
C'è pure l'aria condizionata, vedi?
Sì, ma è mente nuova però. La mente nuova.
È un po' vecchia.
La mente
E quanto ci vuole a ristrutturare una casa così?
ci vuole di tempo.
Un mese. Ah, è grande. Ma è tutta questa?
Vengo fino là dove c'è quella finestra rossa.
È grande.
Va bene. Buona giornata.
Buon lavoro. Ciao ciao. And you know me, whenever I know someone is coming to Italy, I always recommend the same thing. Try to learn at least a little bit of Italian before you arrive. Not even perfectly, but just enough to understand what's going on around you. Because here, famiglia, and especially in smaller towns like mine, you cannot really rely on English, and your experience will be completely different if you understand even just a few things. That's why I often recommend Lingopae, and one feature I really enjoy, apart from their TV shows and movies, is their short stories mode. Inside the app, there's a reading section where you can follow short stories while listening to the audio at the same time. So it feels like watching something, but more relaxed. You can tap on any word to see the meaning instantly, save it, and come back to it later. And what I love is that you start picking up how Italian actually flows, and you start recognizing reactions, expressions, and small cultural references. You are not just visiting, you understand what's going on around you, and you can do it in more than 12 languages, including Korean and Spanish. If you're planning a trip here, I really recommend you trying Lingopae. And by clicking on the link in the description, you can get 7 days free trial and 55% off the annual plan. Thanks Lingopae for sponsoring this video.
Queste sarebbero tutte da
Ah,
fare.
guarda che bella quella casa. Ma quella casa è abitata, eh. Here we have a very old house and it's open, but my dad told me that no one is living here. You can see how they used to build just with iron and wood. And we are lucky here in the south of Italy because we don't have issue with people like illegally occupying your house. Like there are no people here, so this problem is not here. So we just like lock with a small locker. One problem that we do have in all south of Italy, from Rome down, I would say, even in the capital in Rome, is rubbish. So it's part fault of the government who doesn't collect the rubbish properly, and it's part our fault. I feel like people here don't have a developed sense of cleanliness when it comes to rubbish. So we just throw rubbish. I don't, but in general, we just throw rubbish everywhere. So you can see spaces which are actually beautiful, full of nature like this, but full of rubbish. Ah, dov'è il cane?
Preoccupare.
I'm scared of wild dogs.
Guarda che bella inquadratura.
Non è legato.
È legato.
Come è legato?
È legato. È legato con la catena.
Basta! Shh. Le case che sono belle sono mezze rotte. E questo una volta era tutto abitato, no? E queste case che vedo aperte sono abitate o no?
Considera che tutto Soriano faceva 4.000 abitanti.
4.000, adesso non arriva.
Senza quei palazzoni. Guarda dove era la gente.
Ma queste case che io vedo aperte sono abitate o no?
No, abbandonate.
Tutto abbandonato. Here is all abandoned. Like if you want to buy houses here. Ma perché costruivano così, una casa attaccata all'altra?
E non c'era un piano edilizio, come c'era lo spazio si aggiungevano.
Ma adesso,
Un
queste...
vecchio catenaccio.
Ma adesso queste case non sono nemmeno legali, no? Così.
Pensa qua che vicoli che facevano.
Una persona un po' più... E quella finestra, scusami, ma come aprivano quella finestra là? Gliela aprivano davanti all'altra casa. Sanno pure da stendere i panni.
Andiamo all'interno.
Mangiare un'altra cururicchia.
No.
It's too narrow. It's very narrow, like a cat. So here we see two different types of roof, and this one is fine because it's old, like terracotta, clay, but it's not dangerous. But this other one, it's not good for health. It's asbestos or Eternit, we call it in Italian, and it's actually illegal now. So all this roof should be redone. This means that this area is dangerous because I shouldn't stay here because bricks might fall down. 5.000 euro. 5.000. So this house is on sale for just 5,000 euro, but then I imagine that you will spend at least other 20k to redo all this because it's literally dangerous and falling down. But if you're interested, like this house is 5k, which is... It's beautiful for me because I grew up here, so my friends used to live over there, and as kids we used to play here. So for me it's like painful to see this place in this state and in these conditions because I would like to see it flourishing and full of people and full of life. I still feel every inch of beauty here and of truth and of calm life, but my dream is one day to see it again lively and full of people and opportunities.
And yet, even through earthquakes, emigration, and the passing of time, Soriano is still alive. The laughter of children, the smell of fresh bread from local ovens, the ringing of church bells, they all remind you that life here is resilient.
Ah, chi è Apa qua? Apa? Di chi?
Buongiorno, no,
Buongiorno.
sapevi che aveva questo laboratorio qua.
Possiamo entrare? Possiamo riprendere?
Sì.
We are gonna discover an artist. Buongiorno, che bello! Wow!
L'artista del mare.
Wow! Questo è marmo,
Dell'argilla.
argilla. Che bello! E poi diventa in quel modo, no?
Sì, poi si...
Infornato.
si fa...
E quello come mai è verde? Come fa a diventare verde?
si colora.
Che
Allora, questo prima si cuoce, quando si asciuga si cucina una prima volta, così grezzo.
In
Poi,
questo forno?
In questo forno, in quello là. E praticamente diventa...
Ma visto che sono belle quelle opere?
Diventa così.
Ah, che è già bello!
Poi si rivernice, qua sopra si passa un colore, si passa la cristallina, che è quella parte che vedi lucida, si rimette nel forno a 950 gradi e escono quegli effetti là.
Guarda che bello questo!
Glielo fai per qualcuno insegna.
I think I want to buy
Sì,
this.
faccio
It's so beautiful, no? I find it amazing. Bellissimo. Ah, poi mi sono innamorata di uno, me lo compri, vieni qua. Guarda che bella.
E come fai a portartelo? Quando viene che hai possibilità di portartelo, vediamo.
Bellissima questa. Mi piace questa, io sono una donna, quindi ci piace.
Beh, ci sta a casa di roba, non quando decidi di vedere però il colore non esce quello,
polvere, vedi?
lo deve scrivere fuori
Sono
quello
in
che è.
polvere e
Perché
poi...
magari questo nel forno poi esce come?
Allora, diciamo che grosso modo la maggior parte mo sono più o meno
Uguali,
assomigliano, no,
ok.
non tutte, per esempio questo è blu.
Questo esce blu dopo.
Ah, questo lilla esce blu.
Sì, poi questo esce blu, diventa blu.
Vedi, cambiano.
Visto quanto scoperto si fa.
Guarda che bel giardino.
Noi adesso possiamo fare girare di là e poi rientrare così. Ma nemmeno lo raggiunge.
Vai. Vedi che cadi. Limone. And the smell. If you only could smell this lemon, it's incredible. Like, it's truly a lemon. And the one we buy in supermarkets nowadays, I don't like them. Like, I buy, of course, because I live in a big city, but it's not the same. And this one you could eat because it's real biological and there are no poisons put on it, so it's really good. Soriano is famous for its artists, and there is one artist, more specifically, who makes doors. I need to ask him if he can send them everywhere, because as you can imagine, it's quite challenging to send a door abroad. But of course, I think he will be able to do that. And let me know in the comments if you are interested in this type of authentic handmade doors. It's crazy for me the way they drive here. I'm not able to do it. I used to, but now I just cannot understand if the car fits or if I'm just smashing into a wall. Here we can observe a house without a roof, which is pretty crazy to me. Questa casa non ha il tetto.
Che bello.
This one as well is on sale. You can just call this number if interest. For sale.
For sale.
You can just call this number, and Italian numbers you have to put +39 in front, and maybe they will have WhatsApp as well, or just send me a comment and I will get in touch with the owner and get you a special price. Because if you just call this number with an American accent or a foreign accent, the price will be a bit pumped. But don't worry, I'm here to protect you, familia, as always, from scams and from people taking advantage of you. For example, for a house like this, you cannot, I swear, pay more than 10, 15, max if you are very generous, 20K. If they ask you more than that, it's a scam. I am excited because we are seeing a laboratory of an old man who still practices a very ancient job. Come with us. An old iron.
Questo non è tanto antico però,
Questo non è nemmeno antichissimo.
Grazie maestro.
È di che fino a tempo fa avevo quello a carbone. Avevo. E pesava 9,5 kg. Pensate a alzare il ferro.
9 kg.
Sul braccio.
Ogni giorno, no?
Ogni volta che usavo il ferro, signorina, ogni volta che usavo il ferro, io alzavo, diciamo, che poi con il calore un po' di peso si perdeva.
Però, perché evaporava.
Esatto.
E per quanti anni avete fatto questo lavoro?
Io mi sono avvicinato all'arte che avevo 8 anni.
8 anni?
Diciamo 15 anni ne ho fatti di apprendistato. E poi la mia sartoria qua è del 1967.
1967?
12 settembre, mi ricordo pure...
È un'istituzione a Soriano.
Infatti.
Signorina, mi ricordo pure la 12 settembre del 67.
Sempre qui?
Sì. Io di questa via conosco vita e merito.
La memoria storica.
E questa si usa ancora o no? Questa si usa ancora?
Bello, ma io ci lavoro con questa.
Ah sì, con questa qua?
Con questa io ci cucio. Se io dovevo, diciamo, fare il conteggio dei punti che ha dato questa macchina, chi agnelli, avete capito?
Vale, forse è arrivata Paola.
Va bene, la
Grazie,
lasciamo
maestro.
lavorare. Grazie.
Buona giornata e buona Pasqua.
Grazie. There are two main churches in my small town. This one is called Chiesa Matrice, and the other one is the one we saw earlier, San Domenico. And let's go inside this one because it's smaller but still cute. And it used to be my favorite church. We have a problem here with wild dogs, as you can see, but it's okay, it's not dangerous. It's quite nice. But sometimes people can be scared because they are just wild like this. Art is everywhere, my little town. Ciao, cagnolino! Ciao! All these paintings and work of art are new. They used to not to be here, and I find them really beautiful. This is a tribute, and one is my favorite. With ti amo, which means I love you in Italian. Beautiful. The blue is so bright.
Life here has faced earthquakes, emigration, and change, but the heart of Soriano beats on. So when you leave Famiglia, Take more than a picture, take the stories, take the spirit, take the memory of a village that continues to hold on no matter what.
This spot is a bit special to me because I gave my first kiss in this spot, so it's a bit of a special place. And now it's time to go back home for lunch.
Until next time from Soriano, Calabria.